control in the past rounds, but this time just the sheer aggression from MIBR has overwhelmed them.
Through the molly.
Yeah. What can you do about that?
This is a curious situation because Bomb is completely alone towards Squeaky Door on the back of Fallen. And the only A defender, Manice, is cleared out through A main. So he's going to double back and try to take Squeaky Door, but I feel like Fallen's got his head on a swivel.
Oh my gosh.
Oh!
Whoa!
You hate to see it.
What is that?
And now that Bomb is so stranded. I mean, Manice could try to commit to this. You can see his team already trying to rebound back towards this side of the map. Manice unsure as to whether or not Fallen was alone, but what he does know is he can just try to keep himself in control of this device. Manice misses the shot on the man who has retrieved the bomb. And with 40 seconds left, Stu could walk away from this.
Need to hurry up though. Kinguin has started to realize now the opportunity to go towards B is in the plan of MIBR, so they've started to draw back Mouse. The thing is, do MIBR even commit? They still have players in main, they've only boosted a couple over, so this is going to be the mid-split with the bomb, and Fur coming back to the site that has 2 Kinguin players on. As long as they hold onto that Squeaky Door, things could be very good for Kinguin.
And he knows that there's an Opper over here because he heard Manice shoot. So Coldzera not spotting anyone on highway is going to try and clear out Z, but look at the clock. There is 8 seconds left. This bomb has to go down. It's going to try to plant itself on the other side of red. The players in sight can do nothing to stop it. They found a safe spot to plant that is so smooth, but it's not over because Reitz is still in here, and he's got his work set out for him. Too much to handle. Nice stuff there from the offense.
That's pretty crazy. I can't believe they went for the opposite side of the site plant. With the amount of time left over, I would hope that that was the plan to start off with, because it seemed to be getting way too low, you know, for them to even think about default. But that was extremely nice, and they even had Coldzera for the insurance to go into Z in case there were a rotator or to kill anybody at truck who tried to deny the plan.
Honestly, you can never sleep on MIBR in any situation. Even with 10 seconds left, it still seems like they have such an opportunity. That round reminds me of the one versus MVP yesterday on Inferno, where they had 5 seconds left on the B bomb site on the T side. First suddenly finds 2 headshots, and they get a plant in with a second remaining. You can never count out this roster.
The only thing that would have screwed them in that situation was if there was a CT player towards truck, but I think they've realized that since they had the chance to head out towards the B site, Kinguin would have thrown a man over on that opposite side of the map, and sure enough, then Coldzera gets the rotate. So really cool last round, kicking this one off into the favor of MIBR. They lose Fur in mid as he gets 1 kill of his own. The double op still up for Kinguin, and you can see they're very curious. They're trying to clear out the A-halls. But nice with a flick shot and denial from Fallen.
He didn't even see him. Like, he didn't have any time to see him there.
Couldn't hide.
Can't run either. Miles is going to get cut down from behind. Stewie this time ready outside the Squeaky Door. And Rallen, he's all that's left up. These 2 Deagle kills at the back of quad from Stewie just 2 rounds prior are now coming into a lot of effect. Kinguin's economy has been absolutely torn to shreds after this round. Yes, they had the double AWP, but they also had pistols in play.
It's good of you to keep inventory of that. That's definitely something like we always forget just in this world where we're living in the moment of the game, but the economy, the economic effects of previous rounds rippling is very important to highlight. It's definitely going to be a factor as Rallen falls back here to Squeaky with an AWP, which is nice. Did they, when they had to split in that last round onto A, did they have a man advantage, or was it like a 3v3?
It was a 3v3 situation.
3v3 situation.
Yeah, you had a
bomb back.
It's a really creative mid-rounding going on there.
Yeah, CT Opper inside of Squeaky Door, 1 on the standard plant, and then you had that 3rd Kinguin player who had to go have eyes on B.
MIBR ticking every single box though. Very, very, you know, nice exits towards that CT spawn. Not rushing in and risking losing a player to that AWP that was saved, but instead just flashing their team in, and again keeping up this sick team play that we've been seeing. This you know, 1-2 combo of these duos of MIBR that was so prevalent back on Dust 2. However, for now, this is going to be another easy affair for the T side. It's just 1 AWP for Kinguin and flat USPs. Easier said than done. And MIBR know it as well. Look at the pace that they've set up. Instead of one of these slow defaults, it looks to be a quick contact play out through A main. I don't think Kinguin are going to have any response to this.
Open is a sign. Not that the shot will connect regardless, but look how quickly MIBR just burst out into the open. They have no cover in the form of smoke, but it doesn't matter because they get their kills. The USPs can do nothing. Nothing at all, other than damage.
Late explodes, late smokes on walkouts are my favorite because you avoid getting counter-naded completely. Any team that plays too safe will always get punished in that situation. Like we saw the op, he can get 1 kill, he cannot get 2. You know, swarmed. The top of forklift, the side of forklift, there's a bunch of options for the terrorists who have already made their way out of the choke point to get those kills. So even though you, on contact plays, you have a high chance of the first guy dying, especially in like some very passive setup with like some very trained CTs on angles that they're very comfortable with, it's going to be very difficult past that point, especially when pressing rotations.
This is a bit of a shift. A much more aggressive stance coming out of the counter-terrorists, and look what it nets them. A 5v3 with a B push that leaves the bomb back and gives a chance for Rollin to sneak forward.
Yeah, especially after you have a 5v3, there's no way AMIBR expects continual aggression from Kinguin. Bait shots in through the grate, but Ryland's going to be the one finding the frag. He even gets close to doubling it, but Stu pulls it back. Either way, I don't think Kinguin can be too upset about that one. Stewie's down to 10 points of health, and they still have a double man advantage. Minute on the clock for MIBR to bail themselves out of this spot, but it's not going to be an easy one. Kinguin have 2 players per site. MIBR are going to have to get some serious luck in this round to actually have a chance.
Creative mid-rounding is what they need to dig deep for some. It'll take quite the series of errors, quite the series of unfortunate events for Kinguin to lose this one. But I like that they always work back towards middle. One of the reasons teams do this, even though you run out of time, and here's the flank out for Beast. That might just close things up. Knows exactly where the last person is as well. Stu making it known. If he didn't already, what a shot! Cleans his clock. Can't pick up the bomb, however, and is traded out in the end. But one of the reasons that teams will go back to mid, even though you can't plant the bomb, is just because as a CT, you're not going to spend too much time in middle for the rest of the round. Once you've established presence there, it's not actually smart to even hang out there, and it's going to be as later, the further you go into the round, the more likely it is that a terrorist is going to go right to the side as well. So when you're low on numbers, sometimes it's actually really good to go for mid. It's like, as a CT, you think about it, if I have 4v2, why am I going to try to defend mid and risk losing a kill? So there's some free map control as a terrorist when you're down in numbers to maybe make things happen in a round.
MIBR wanting to go for a B play, it seems. We've not seen a full-on rush for a while. Let's see if Kinguin can hold the tide.
And I scope back in, misses his first chance, but he's been given a grace for just a second. Looked like he'd have a high hope, but no. Fallen even denying the heaven peak above, so 4v3 as bomb crosses over. Taz quickly trying to get some real estate behind. It's not quite certain whether or not there is an anchor here, somebody holding on to the flank. There isn't. In fact, we've got the defenders all between the checkers and the bomb site. coldzera's even inside of the vents, a little cheeky. Hoping to blindside Taz if he does take a step forward, but it's honestly very likely that they just hold and look for some exits.
Yeah, again, this economy is not unstoppable from MIBR. Kinguin can certainly put a dent in it with a kill or 2 here. And they're going to have an opportunity, at least for coldzera, who's exiting through the vents. It's going to be Taz on the other side. Not the angle you're going to be looking at typically, but he moves out of the position. Big error. Tarek even follows up to Rallen, so that is a complete failure from Kinguin. They aim for exits, instead they get wrecked.
I mean, so Taz tries to cross in front of vents, maybe to exit towards mid, but Rallen literally just runs into the back of the bomb site once the explosion goes off. And his teammate, who he was saving by tree with, was all the way up on truck.
You're trying to trade as if you're the one who has like the economic advantage. You're just trying to do whatever you can. Like they are behind right now. They don't have the guns that they could have had right now.
And that would mean they could buy here. With 2 more saved rifles, they would have a full buy.
Exits means exits. And in this case, they didn't commit.
Right.
That's what I always say. Like, it really annoys me. Either have a, you've got to have a game plan. If you're going to save, save. If you want to do damage to the economy, do damage. Don't sit in that midpoint where you're stuck between the 2 choices. You need to actually have a decisive, choice in that scenario.
You're stealing from yourself.
Yeah.
It's the only person you're stealing from.
And that's just stupid.
The future you. Why would you ever do that? You live and learn.
MIBR are stealing the rounds away at this point in time, 7-4. Kinguin, they have gone for the buy regardless, so they really would have loved those save guns. Look at this absolute mess. 1 AK, 1 FAMAS, 1 UMP, and 2 pistols. MIBR certainly not going to be sweating about this one. It is starting to look very, very good for this team side. Great nades as well. Reeds even tries to get aggressive, but there's no way he'll live through that one. Not sure at the level of commitment after getting tagged to 20. The boost comes through. We've not seen this for a while, but Cold Zero remains ever vigilant, waiting on the other side.
Whoa! A slower reaction from Cold Zera there.
Might have been on the radar or something, yeah. Was weird.
Again, maybe it was to do with the fact that he was moving. Doesn't want to shoot while walking.
Could be.
He could have got timed.
That's why, on a side note, that's why it's always good to peek someone who is running at you, because it's so much harder to counter strafe if you think about your fingers.
Yeah.
Go from W to S if you do play WASD. I don't want to be.
Who doesn't play WASD?
I played.
There are freaks out there, Hugo.
Yeah, I know. When people use like
I
arrow
play
keys.
RDFG in some games.
Why?
And there are
Really?
people in Quake who play middle of the keyboard. DDK plays middle of the keyboard in Counter-Strike as well.
I can respect that because then you have like the reach of binds, but it's when people play, you know, arrow keys. It's like you have no other buttons to press. You have to have the longest goddamn fingers
Call
if
them
you
out.
want to reload. Yeah, I'm going to call them out. Even if you're right hands, use your goddamn numpad. Come on, guys.
Yes.
Come on, guys. Let's be reasonable. Let's work on this together. We change the culture.
Change the world.
One step at a time, baby.
Pistols. So, yes, one step at a time. They're going to have to get through this step in order to have much of a chance in the follow-ups. I mean, it's better than what we saw in Dust 2, so it seemed, but all of a sudden, you know, we are quite lopsided here. Double the score of Kingwin is MIBR. They've been given a lot of free real estate towards mid once more, but Fur can't connect the shots.
I think he said, "I'm so bad at Brazilian." That's what I would say in English. Because I don't know Portuguese, but
He had I think he just kind of struggles at that angle, because yesterday he couldn't get a kill on a man towards toxic barrels for the longest of times either. So, stop going highway, Fur. Mind you, sometimes the easiest kills somehow end up being the hardest. You know, they've got USPs.
and again, never devalue the fact that you can run super fast with pistols. It makes it harder to hit.
Well, the buy is back in for Kingwin, but not exactly the best. No kits, no AWP. Barely any utility as well. We've got a couple of incendiaries actually here, but players like Manise, Rallen, they are really lacking. This is going to be a tough task for Kingwin, as has this series been preluded to be.
Feels like this is. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
This has been kind of a grind. It just feels like every round, MIBR have just been 20% better.
Yeah.
You know, it hasn't been as one-sided in terms of, wow, they're just aim mapping like they did on Dust 2. They really are working for these rounds, but they're somehow pulling them out of their hat.
That being said, though, think about how Kingwin, you know, the scoreline maybe not representing it, but if you think about the context of each round that Kingwin have had, it was an early start that got them on the board, right? Sure. How many rounds has this been in a row for MIBR? You know, maybe aside from one reset. This has been a pretty one-sided game apart from the pistol and onwards from that.
Yeah, I think the start just kind of set the bar higher, so we haven't fallen all the way into the depths of what was Dust 2.
Yeah.
And they've got a man advantage. This isn't a position we find them into often, so I'm sure they realize that as well. They will be taking a deep breath and attempting to make the most of it. Got 1 foot through the door, but they've closed squeaky.
We've got a committee of CT players who are taking over the A site, making sure that there is no way on a full execute that they could lose. MIBR with a little bit of clarity of mind might be able to take Taz out. They see a chance here for a boost to have occurred, and Taz swings out wide with the crouch spray. Wants to fall off, but can't make the adjustment in time.
Nice though in sight. He's able to get himself a second. Taz was lucky to have been alive. Fallen. Yeesh. He's going to give up half of his health for that duel, and so it is the numbers game from Kingwin, which will eventually overwhelm him. You can see Taz with 1 point of health. Just wanted to drop the Molotov. Wanted to try and deny any further exits. But right from the get-go, we had MIBR with their attention trained in above. They had a feeling he was up there, and they were right in assuming so. Go on.
And it is kind of a timing game for Taz.
Exactly.
The angle gets closed off on him. He's totally screwed, but he doesn't want to peek too early and end up just getting pre-fired, so he did play it pretty correctly, apart from just kind of fumbling with the extra utility he wanted to expel before repositioning. Falling on the door has been a very common adjustment that I like to see from players on the boost, because you can actually sit on top of the door, get another kill from a different angle into aiming, fall back and fight again.
Two fast ones. Two very fast ones. Looking like Kinguin could make the most of these final waning few rounds here on their CT side. coldzera spotted in the open, but not punished by Manice. Little utility for MIBR to try and work execution, so I feel like they just need to dwindle down numbers first. And while they do get one kill, they've also sustained another death, so things not looking any easier as we get further and further into this situation. But now it's Ritz's chance to really shut it down.
Back turned, easy kill. Even if the orb's there, it's still going to be a clutch needed for Fallen. A 1v2, with Miles already hearing the footsteps back into the vents. He can call for his teammate to run. Although the vents have to be broken, so Fallen fakes it out, doesn't drop with it. Mouse is ready on the other side, but 30 seconds left. Fallen, he's got to make a decision. He's still being flanked. Taz is ready to push into main if it does continue to be an A play. But Fallen just hesitates, only to further drop back into the vent room. He needs to check this corner, and he does. Looks away, and there it is. 6 rounds of Kinguin in the half. They find a couple in the end of the day, and that might just be enough to set them up for some more success here on Cash.
Saw Kinguin get to the board with the first gun round. They were able to string 3 together, so that's why things definitely look good. We were 6 rounds deep and the game was tied, right? Nearly halfway through the first 15. But it was that very crucial hard reset in the next 7 rounds, right smack dab in the center, that certainly cost them. However, they also then add 2 at the end. So
that's not bad at all. Again, take into account they're underdogs coming into this game. They're mapped down by dominant fashion. They already lost pistol to end the half of the 9-6. Kinguin should be happy with that one. But again, it just comes down to winning the next pistol. They lose it, and suddenly it's 12-6, and that's when things fall out of control.
I was going to say, though, I mean, of all the maps where you think to where you may find the most successful of T-sides, you know, after Dust, Cash can be one of them. So I don't think Kinguin should be all too upset. You know in the back of your head that the economy definitely played a factor in limiting your ability to find rounds. Losing the pistol and the conversion points didn't stop them from having a strong start in the guns. And then, of course, even after all of the tribulations, they add those extra 2. So they were competent throughout the entirety of those 15 rounds, right? It wasn't like on Dust 2 where the first 12 were so flat. They actually had stake in many of those rounds despite losing them to MIBR.
I absolutely co-sign that. And new half, new map. New Kinguin. For those of you just joining us, we're here in the Hong Kong Convention Center, the biggest convention center in Hong Kong. Seems like it was newly built, to be honest.
Yeah.
One of the most enormous convention centers that I've ever been in. And alongside the esports tournaments, we've got at ZOTAC Masters, we've got the EMF Music Festival, which is a big festival in Hong Kong, as well as a lot of like tech-oriented booths and a showroom floor with tons of stuff. And unlike with other showrooms, they actually sell some of this stuff, which is really cool. You can buy a mouse, you can buy an SSD, you can buy a monitor, and there's a ton of tech enthusiasts as well as esports people in the building.
You're buying a ZOTAC Mini PC, I hear, Londers?
I absolutely will pick up a ZOTAC Mini PC, and I would love to go into great detail about this, but I'm pretty sure somebody's going to execute before I'm done, and I'll regret it.
Oh, look at this push. Stewie's already in the spawn. Mouse is going to trade things back, so it's not all bad for Team Kinguin. You did lose that man advantage, but he still has a second player here. First, still aggressive as ever. Mouse still doubling down. Kinguin have actually made a bit of a mockery out of MIBR at this point in time, but where will they end up? It looks like the B site.
Yeah, you're walking into coldzera. So, best of luck. He's got the cover to try and fall off after the duel. Eventually gets it, but he used up a lot of his ammo. He's got 6 rounds left, and that's not going to be enough. Now, Fallen has to clutch. This has been a 4K from Mouse. He could still find himself the ace, but it's Taz to take it. A pistol round for Kinguin could certainly spell a turnaround as they're seeking to tie it right away.
Amazing 4 frag from Mazzino. on those entries and the rotate into B. And Kinguin have been no slouch on the pistols. They actually have had no problem. MIBR, one of the highest scoring teams in terms of pistol round conversions at the tier 1 in the past few months. And that's, it's a smaller sample size with them, but it's still like kind of astounding how good they are. And it all comes down to how good each player is pound for pound, just on an individual level. I don't really personally believe in pistoling players being the best players. Statistically, some of the players that we laud as being the best pistoling players, it's like Dennis and such, they aren't even at the top of the list in terms of most kills on pistols, but still they get flashy kills.
Yeah.
They get multi-frags on important rounds. Things like that really help them stand out. But in terms of consistency overall and versatility with all weapons, MIBR have that in spades. I'm sure that contributes.
Zero not connecting these Deagle shots. That's going to cost him his life because he's still stuck here in the connector. Rattlin eventually bites him back with a bit of a Glock, and Tarek is all that stands here for the Brazilians and Americans.
Oh, the door is open. Tarek's going to get himself right onto the bomb site. He even grabs the AK. Now this is going to throw a bit of a spanner in the works. He's looking for more damage, and he's going to deal it out. A man straight behind him, though, is his demise. Reitz had gone off towards a main, so, Tarek's probably assuming, hell, if I can walk out through Squeaky Door, there must be nobody over here. And sure enough, he'll fall after. Nice attempt, though. You turn a 1v4 situation down to just 2 survivors. You're definitely strapping them for cash.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Tarek.
Tarek who?
You're dead.
Comedy genius. Well, it's a pistol round for MIBR, but they're up against guns, so good luck. The quad B stack could certainly be the answer to their problems. That's a Kinguin run in willy-nilly without thinking about it. However, it's actually MIBR going for the push to their own death. Cold Zero is the only man to find a frag. And with that, Kinguin start to cement their place on this B site. The problem is when you have a stack there, it's like Kinguin are going to get 1 kill and go, oh, there's only 1 player left up, it's fine. And then you kill 2 and you're like, oh, the site's clear. You kill 3 and you're like, oh no, it's stacked. But it's no problem for them. They make it clean, only 1 death. Now we go into the buy rounds, and MIBR are already back on that AWP.
Last time we saw things tied, it was at 3 rounds apiece. And then right afterwards, we had, of course, that flurry of rounds from MIBR that really cemented their half. So we'll see if the gun round can be, again, the game changer.
It's a reminder of how far they actually got in this game early on. Are we not seeing kits on the board? Nobody's actually... Or head armor, yeah.
It is the first buy round.
Right. Fallen's got no armor at all. Bare bones.
Naked.
The good wool buy. The food stand buy.
Stewie's just going to commit to the spray down. And even takes down a third. He knew he had enough bullets to get it done. Here's Fur. He has come from the shadows to catch Taz by surprise. 1v5 on Mount Zeno. He's already been found out, so this is just Stewie winning a round for the Brazilians.
No armor needed, Launders.
That was nasty, dude.
He's streaking through the map.
He's naked.
Well, this is the X factor of MIBR coming back in with a big round. Let's look at that again. Stewie's locking down this door, mate. That was padlocked. No, go away.
Round's like, well, I can't even run anymore. There's no point. Let me just play this one for myself. Easy, I'll catch Stewie falling back. But no, Stewie totally aware of what setup was coming his way. And that allows MIBR to bar everything else that they were missing from last round. A couple of kits, head armor for the boys.
I feel like with the amount of aggression we're already seeing out of MIBR, they are playing the CT side very differently to the way that Kinguin were initially on that first half.
Yeah.
I mean, there's an ebb and flow to a map like Cash, whereby if either team can push most portions of the map straight from the get-go, and you tend to respond by aggressing yourself elsewhere. But
yeah,
this time it was towards that B bomb site. They disengage after taking damage. Each team just sharing some shells.
I think that one of the most common ways that we see people push B is actually the most effective is using that snack smoke to get B main control It's so incredibly annoying as a terrorist to know that in your default someone is throwing a stack smoke and they can be in sunroom and then suddenly forcing you to either go back to clear things out or just hope that you're not going to get fast flanked. I feel like it's one of the most consistent ways to do something that's predictable but still hard to deal with. One of the best CT options that we've seen MIBR use once just now. So early on in half, it's forced. Squeeze Kinguin out into mid.
There's not a lot of time left for this one. They've got to go fast. Luckily enough, MIBR, they've gambled completely on the wrong side of the map. They've thrown 4 players on B, and I have no idea why. There was no one in B main.
It's because they have A main control, so Fallen called.
Oh.
Hey, it's probably going to be B. You guys can leave.
He might be able to stop this. There's only 10 seconds left. If he drops a bomb, this round could be over. Fallen's found the first, and first doubled up as well, but the bomb has made its way to the site. It should just go down in time, but that could be it for Team Kinguin. It's surrounded by CT side, and there's only 1 player left up for this team. Taz is going to grab a quick kill, but surely that'll be all she wrote. Somehow crossing for the bomb there, but...
Yeah, because the time was ticking down so low, the one liability was mid. And so Fallen said, okay, worst case scenario, I get a kill, I stay alive, we defend against A, we have a great retake spot. If you guys go to B, it just seems like it's probably going to be B right now. Small misread, but they still had, it still wasn't totally irresponsible. They still had ways to recover from that.
Yeah, he took the, any essence of irresponsibility, he took the responsibility
for himself,
exactly,
yeah.
And then he still delivers, not only getting that first kill, but then also causing Taz to try and give chase. I love the way that Fallen just tucks away into the corner. Taz then has to bail on attempting to get the kill. That isolates Taz's only teammate to be completely alone, and MIBR easily pick up the pieces. So even if they stack 4 guys on the other side of the map, you can never count them out.
Yeah, well said. And as you mentioned, Hugo, like, you know, it was weird. They were so low on time, and there was no one A or B. Like, where were they?
Well, Kinguin with a desperation B rush. Tarek is close by, so he's surely going to get at least 1 or 2 here. And they don't even check it. There it goes. Tarek with 2. Cold is going to double up as well. The iconic combo on this B site, it seems. And absolutely no problem for MIBR.
No, not even a bead of sweat with that round.
Tarek and Cold have been working together on everything.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's the beauty. Again, I feel like you brought this up on Dust 2, and I'm still reminiscing. You can combine any 2 players on MIBR, and that, to me, I just want to sit and watch how they work within a bomb site. You know, I want to see all of these players be tested with 5-man pushes just to see what kind of synergy we get out of them.
It was very interesting. Fur, I once referred to him as the Vegeta of the team. Just his attitude towards Counter-Strike and how he's always lacked respect for all of his opponents, and not necessarily a rude way, but just as like a mentality thing. He's always just believed he was better and seems to be working more alone in a lot of these situations. Fallen and Stewie have been pairing off quite often on different maps, including this one. And it seemed to be working.
Did they boost up and kill someone in Sunroom? Because I think Cold was on the site and he just got a kill with the orb. So
I guess they did do the triple boost, huh?
And killed someone in Sunroom. Not sure about that.
Just spotting bodies for up and above. Cannot get himself a second. Now Stewie's got a flash to play with. That's when he tries to find his kills, but he's not going to force the issue. That's fine. They are still maintaining the push outward from Kinguin. They are still isolated inside A main, but those 2 kills where the CT step forward could definitely change things. I mean, the health is so incredibly low, but the clock's at 45 seconds, and we've got an interesting position from an ice where he's going to wrap around towards middle. If he skewers this A site, then it could put Taz in a position to succeed, but Fallen has moved towards a forklift, so his back not exposed, and now that the smoke has faded, Taz is on full display, and he just gets popped. His noggin, sloppy. Nice now gets the chance, but he can't get either kill right away, so he's been figured out, and remember, 3 HP is all he has to play with.
Oh, this is the hardest of crossfires to try to figure out. Fallen just getting that information allowed him to know that Manise would cross to the right side of Fork, unbeknownst to him.
That's such a shame for Taz as well, right? Because all Taz has to do there is stay alive and allow his teammate to come in on the flank. That's why Taz just sits there with the bomb.
He had one of the best positions to do that from. Like, he wasn't really safe anywhere else. If he could have been on default, maybe, but he didn't know where the 2 opponents were. So, yeah, he had to delay for like an extended period of time, and the flank was done really well too, where it was so fast. Like, he ran all the way to mid so early that he gave himself time to walk, and with just one more moment or just a little bit more patience from MIBR, like in a negative sense where Fallen doesn't go for information, they could potentially pull off a really great 2v2 mid-round with low HP.
Uh-oh. Here we go. Another B play, but this time position swap for Cold and Tarek, and that may not be a good thing because Cold's up close with the AWP versus Pistols. Does retreat to the back of the site. Molotovs fire over it, so this is going to start to get hot. Tarek's got to step